Tony Storm, Storm Family Law. I've known you for 3 years. Do you remember how I know you?
I met you when I first moved into this building.
That's correct.
So you prepared my lease.
That is also correct.
We went back and forth a lot, so we have some litigation. Not litigation, but some
negotiation
experiences.
transactional law, that's right.
And that sparked our friendship.
Exactly, exactly. So now I have the privilege of finding out more about you and finding out why you love the BHBA so much.
Yeah, you probably know a lot about me now already.
Well, more than I did just a little while ago, because I've been learning about you.
Well, I'll tell you, I mean, I think you know this, but when I first moved to LA, the BHBA was one of my first stops. I have a friend, Mark Rosenfeld, who was chair of the criminal law division a couple years ago, I think. I don't know exactly when, but he said, you know, I moved here. I didn't have a job. I didn't have anything. We lived in a little apartment with a baby. And he said, come to the nuts and bolts classes. I'd worked at the U.S. Attorney's Office beforehand as a certified clerk doing misdemeanors trials. So I went to the family law nuts and bolts, and I met Judge Amy Pellman, and I met Emily Edelman. And I struck up a conversation with them, and I ended up, long story short, I can get into detail if you want, but that struck my first job in family law.
Okay.
Being a part of the Bar Association has been wonderful. The camaraderie that I have here, my office, you know, is in the Bar Association now. So
Correct.
The camaraderie I've been here for 3 years. It's a family. I see how close everybody works together.
Right.
I see all the events. I was chair of the family law section for a year, planning everything with Pamela and Genna and the rest of the staff. And everybody's a team, but more than a team, they're home away from home. This is their family.
Exactly. It's not just business. It's not just professional and career. It's actually a friendship. If I were to ask you what word or words people use to describe you, what would they be?
Ethical, empathetic to their issues, practice family law. I think if you don't have that empathy, you shouldn't be doing this.
True.
Intelligent,
Okay.
effective, efficient. I don't know. It's hard for me to answer these things because it sounds like I'm doing it, but it sounds almost egotistical for me to, not almost, it is egotistical for me to start saying I'm all these things.
Well, if people have used those words to describe you, then it's not egotistical.
Well, they have. There was this exercise that we did. It was an interesting thing. It was exactly this question. And it was in a group of people I'm at, and we got together in these little groups. A lot of Beverly Hills Bar members were there, a lot of leaders. And we filled out these forms because there was somebody leading this, not a CLE, but this sort of group event, to figure out what you think of yourself and what others think of you.
Yes.
So I heard all these wonderful things that people
So then you know they actually do use those words. What words do you wish they would use to describe you?
I'm pretty good with those.
Okay, fine. Okay.
I have pretty good relationships with my opposing counsel. Oh. Luckily, I mean, I'm
That's great. For you and your clients.
There's no reason not to be civil. A lot of these things that people are talking about are trial issues anyways. It doesn't matter that they've said X, Y, or Z, and nobody cares. So it's another pet peeve I have is what I call the show.
For the client.
All a show.
Because you got to make it up so the client knows they're paying dollars for something.
I don't do the show.
So given all of the trials and tribulations and the craziness, why family law?
I like the law, and I like people.
So
I like the issues. I just don't like the crazy. You have to, bluntly, you have to have something a little bit off to litigate your family law action. But it takes two people to settle. It takes either the two spouses, the parties, they have to both be reasonable, or you end up having a judge decide it on one person's position, or the other person's position.
Or splitting the baby and both people are miserable.
Everybody loses. But most of the issues we have are math and emotion. And you're a mediator. You have a lot of experience dealing with people. You know how it is.
Right.
People just need to manage you need to manage their expectations, give them a reality check, and everybody hurts a little bit and comes out with a settlement.
And moves on with their lives,
Yeah.
more or less intact.
There's a lot of value in not suffering. The law is what I love. The craziness I can do without.
What does success mean to you? Sounds like you're very successful already.
My family, I mean, it's a generic answer, and I hate
Yes.
giving a generic answer, but it is true. You know, I have 3 wonderful
And gorgeous.
children. You can see them on the screens here. 3 wonderful children that I'm extremely proud of. I have a wife that I adore. I mean, she's the smartest, she's wonderful.
And lucky.
Well, I'm lucky too. She encourages me to do what I can. If not for her, I wouldn't have this practice, because she
Right.
one day said, do it. You're ready. Just do it. And you have 3 kids, a mortgage. It's a big decision to go, what am I going to do? And
Yeah,
it's
no
like,
paycheck.
yeah, you'll be fine.
Good for
We'll be
her.
fine.
Good for her.
So, go rent a nice office and I've done it. We are our own little family here. I saw Elisa, my associate's parents, yesterday, because we were at Temple, and I'm on the board of directors at my Temple, and they were over there, and they know me. It's we have our holiday parties together. We celebrate together.
It's beautiful.
You have to like the people you work with.
What are those characteristics that you value in A, colleagues, B, friends, and C, employees?
It's funny, because I saw this question coming up, and I asked my associate, I said, so what do you think I value? She said, personality goes a long way with you. And it's true, personality. I also want somebody who's a self-starter that I don't have to micromanage. I want the job to get done. I don't care if you're in the office or not in the office. I just want to know that and have the confidence that everything's going to be done at a high level. I ask, I want my work up here.
Right.
I want a high level of work, and I don't want to have to micromanage it. I want to look at the briefs. I want to look at what goes out and make sure the cases run properly, but I do not want to have to rewrite and be involved with everything. And frankly, we have fun. Work has to be fun.
And there has to be
You have to-
time to take breaks for fun so you don't burn out.
I'm more productive when I take breaks.
Yes.
When I get out of the office, when I go take a walk, when I grab a cup of coffee,
Yeah.
and come back in and then hit it again.
Yes.
Because if I don't, it's hard.
It's hard to
stay.
keep up at that level.
You
You
being
do
a
need-
lawyer,
yeah.
you need to focus all
Right,
the time.
right.
Every word matters. That's why I have my Apple Watch. It tells me to stand every now and then.
Oh, interesting.
It's,
Okay.
It reminds me, stand, walk, do what you need to. I'm like, God, this thing is horrible.
Did it also say renew your BHBA membership?
That happens automatically. I'm
Lucky
Toda.
you. That's right. It's AMR. You're automatically. So how do you like that AMR system that you don't even have to be reminded?
I didn't even think about it. I mean, that's honestly, it's easy. The less I have to think, the more I have to do.
The more
better
work
it
you get
is.
to do, yeah.
Well, I just don't want, it's another bill. I'm going to renew anyways, so I'm fine with it auto-renewing every year.
Right.
I don't have to fill anything out. I don't have to do anything.
It just appears on your bill and you don't object.
Yeah.
And there it goes.
I've pre-authorized the Beverly Hills Bar Association to charge my credit card.
You've already expressed quite a few benefits from the Beverly Hills Bar Association. Any benefits you haven't yet told us about?
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, to me, this is my home away from home. More so than maybe most members, because my office is here.
Yes, you really do live here practically.
And I know the value of everybody here because I see them so closely every day. But the CLE that we do is second to none. At least in family law. Family Law Symposium is fantastic. Our executive committee is fantastic. I see members of the executive committee regularly. The new co-chair of the family law division is somebody that I had known while I worked in the courthouse. She's fantastic. I adore her. I see them all the time. We're in the study group together. It continues. So I mean, these are all people who I've either met when I just moved to Los Angeles or met through the Bar Association. And it's just been, for me, for lack of a better word, a blessing, not in a religious sense. But
Right,
just like,
but
you know,
yes, very gratifying to hear that you've found such comfort and such benefits and such support at an organization that's near and dear to my heart, too.
my biggest mentors are members of the Bar Association.
Mm-hmm.
When I was having trouble as chair of the Family Law Executive Committee, I had Brian Lepak running to the rescue, who was my
Yeah.
liaison at the Board of Governors. They are where I learned to practice at a high level.
Be so lucky to have mentors like that you
Yeah.
can turn to.
And I can, and I have not only mentors like that, I have people on my ex-com, the other members of the Bar Association, that we email each other regularly and just say, opposing counsel says this. Are they messing with me? You know, it's like,
Right, and it's good to have somebody to turn to
Yeah.
and get the skinny and know where you stand.
That's right. Or, you know, people who've been around a while and you have an opposing counsel that you've never heard of. What do I expect? You know, is this, you know, where's this case going to go? What kind of litigation style do you know? And just sort of have a quiet, off-the-record, confidential conversation.
Right. Right, and because it's not necessarily in your firm, you feel safe, you can ask somebody
Yeah.
in confidence. This is what a bar association is for.
Support
Exactly.
of your peers.
Yes, yeah. Best advice you ever received, and from whom?
Listen to your mother, then do what you want.
Okay, who told you that?
My dad.
Of course.
And it was good advice. Made everybody happy.
Yeah.
You know, and I was a responsible kid, anyways. So he said, just listen to her and do what you're going to do. So, and now it's funny because my son does what he wants and drives my wife crazy. He does not. I mean, I love him to.
He's
this
not
is Charlie.
listening to his mommy?
He's no.
Oh.
You know what? I adore my wife,
Yeah.
but there's something fun about poking the bear. There's something fun about, you know, messing with her, I have to admit. And we all have it. All of my kids love, in a cute, I don't think this is going to come over well, but in a very nice, sweet way, messing with her.
Okay, as long as she thinks of it the same way, you're
She
fine.
doesn't. She's not, but it's, you know, the one thing that we do, look, my goal, and this sounds, it really is truly sincere, is to make them laugh every day.
Aw.
And I do it. I make sure I try to do it. Doesn't matter what time I come home.
Right.
There's nights I come home at 10 o'clock and my wife is falling asleep with the baby. I want that smile and I want the laugh. And then, you know, it's longevity. I have fun.
That's great.
That's-
Every parent should want to be fun with their kids.
Well, it's with my wife too, not just my kids. I
Is she having fun though while you're poking her?
Well, yeah, I do actually mean it more with my wife. I like to make her smile and laugh, and it's how we have our marriage.
So is she supportive in your hobbies?
Yeah, when I love my hobbies, but it's hard to find the time to do some of these things, and some of them aren't practical. I like creating things, and sometimes creating things creates mess. I looked at old pictures the other day, and I commented to my wife, I'm like, our house was so much cleaner back then.
Before we had kids. Gee, I wonder how that happened.
Yeah, 3 is, having your second will break you. Having your third is just another 20%, because you're already pretty much given into the path of least resistance in whatever happens in our house.
What charities are near and dear to your heart?
Jewish Family Services. We volunteered with Project Angel Food at Thanksgiving, helping to prepare meals for really sick people. Whatever we can do.
Yeah.
You know, I believe in access to justice. So there's a lot of people who call my office who cannot afford counsel. And I believe everybody needs some advice.
Yes.
And if I can give my time, aside from organizations, I give it. We try. We try to give what we can and where we can, whether it's our time or financial support. We actually have a charitable trust that we set up
Very nice.
that she's in charge of. And when there's an issue that she feels strongly about and I feel strongly about, we make it happen. Mm-hmm. So,
Well, as president of the foundation, I am going to hit you up for my Modest Means program.
okay.
Okay, good. I have it on camera now. Great. What one movie could you watch over and over again?
You know my answers. I mean, just this morning I watched The Little Mermaid.
Oh, boy.
And that's because of my 2-year-old. But I got to tell you, practicing family law, there is maybe no more dysfunctional Disney princess than Ariel.
Really? Can't live in the same world.
Yeah, well, because she's a fish. I like pop culture. You know, I think you know this about me already, but I'm a big fan of pop culture. So even if it's not something that I necessarily like, if there's something about it that has made it like a phenomenon, I have to find out about
What it is and what made it so phenomenal.
I'm going through the Dune series now because I'm curious what the big deal is. I'm on like book 5. I can't stop because I've started, but like it's getting like I have to finish.
Okay.
But it's getting like, I don't know, Game of Thrones is fun because I have to see what the big deal is.
Yeah, I'm still waiting to see what the big deal is.
Movies that I like, there's Airplane.
Okay.
Dirty Rotten Scoundrels is hilarious. I could watch that over and over again. I just don't have the time anymore to go to films. I worked for Lucasfilm for a while. I used to do production work for television studios before Lucasfilm, and I just can't, you know, I did sound design. So,
Wow.
and sound engineering. I'm an audiophile, but I don't have, now with the 3 children,
Yeah.
it's Moana, Moana, Moana.
Right.
The Secret Life of Pets.
Yeah. Thank you so much for, letting me know so much more about you that fascinated me, and spending the time and
Happy
making
to
this
do it.
so enjoyable.
I was glad to help.
Thank you.
Glad to be here. The Beverly Hills Bar Association has been good to me. Anything I can give back, I'm happy to.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I thank you and we thank you.
Likewise.